Are you curious about meditating on cannabis? Maybe you're cannabis friendly and you've done some meditation, but you're thinking maybe I could try it on cannabis. Didn't know you could do it on cannabis. Well, this video is for you if you're interested in this topic. This is Eddie with Mindful Emergence, where Margaret and I offer mindfulness, movement, and breathing practices for your healing and spiritual transformation. Most of our work is with plant medicine. Now, I should point out that I'm a long term meditator, over 40 years, and I've been teaching about 20 years. I'm not an expert, but I know a thing or two, and I've had a lot of experience now working with different plant medicines of a wide variety and have been spending time with cannabis lately and exploring the possibilities of meditation on that medicine. So let's talk about meditation first of all. So, standard meditation. Well, there are a lot of different kinds of meditation. Obviously, it's kind of like sports, you know, water polo, boxing, hockey, baseball, very different. And you can enter that same terrain with meditation. But most meditations that are taught these days and are practiced are sort of mindfulness based insight practices where we put our attention on an object of focus. Usually it's the breath. There's thousands of years old tradition, anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. That's very, very common. You put your attention on your breath, and then when you're distracted by thoughts, sounds, sensations, you return. So you learn to focus your concentration on breath, for example, and then learn to notice whatever else arises, let go, and return back to that anchor of breath. Now, it doesn't have to be breath. It could be mantra, it could be a candle, it could be other sounds, it could be a number of things, but breath is most common. That's the kind of meditation I generally teach, although there are other kinds that we delve into. Now, meditation on cannabis. Here's how I would suggest you approach it. When we use cannabis, we use it intentionally, which is very different than how I used it for 40 years as an escape, as something to numb myself. Now we use it as a way of opening up different ways of seeing things, checking into the body, really starting to explore different ways of looking at things. So when I smoke flower, I always sit for about 15 minutes in meditation. Almost every single time, I'll sit in a chair, recliner, whatever. I'll close my eyes and I'll bring attention to my body and my mind. Now, in standard meditation, you might check into your body. That's a good practice to do. Like, oh, what am I noticing in my body? What am I feeling? What kind of sensations are arising? And if they're uncomfortable, how can I work with them? Okay. So that can be done under sort of normal meditation. With cannabis, and by the way, you can try this with some other meditations, especially microdosing psilocybin or LSD, or maybe if you're doing some kind of vaping of 5-MeO DMT, you might be able to do this. But cannabis, I think, is most helpful. So, what we can do is when we pause, close our eyes, and tune in, we can check into the body and really allow ourselves to explore all the different sensations. All right. Allow ourselves to drop into that, to feel ourselves supported and grounded in the chair. All right. Then the other thing, and this is what's very different from the type of meditation I normally teach. Again, when we're doing, quote, normal meditation, when a thought arises, we might notice it. We might even label it. Oh, planning, remembering, for example. All right. And then you let it go and come back to the breath. In this case, when a thought arises, I allow myself to pull that thread, stay with it, explore it. And what happens is it allows me to step into an area of discovery that might not be there otherwise. I find when I do this, many times the process of pulling that thread and following that thought really opens up perspectives I hadn't been aware of before. And it's really been great for fostering creativity. Many, many times when I've done this, I've come out of this just 15 minutes with some new idea, you know? In fact, I think I came up with this idea for this video in a meditation. It's like, I got to talk about this. All right. I think this might be something that a lot of people are looking for and could be really, really helpful. So, the other thing I want to say about this is here in North Carolina, we have this phenomenon called THCA, which is legal cannabis in this state. It's actually still described as hemp because it's picked early before it hits a certain percentage of THC. I think it's zero point 0.3 if I remember correctly. Well, you can go to dispensaries and buy this. All right. So you don't have to depend on cousin Joey, for what he's been growing in his backyard. Although that may be nice, but the benefit of going to a dispensary is you can talk to the bud tenders, the people there about different strains, and you can explore and try different strains. You might find that you want a very strong sativa, or maybe indica works for better for you, that sativa is maybe activating a certain amount of anxiety, whereas a strong indica might help you settle into your body, make you more relaxed, allow you to work with your thoughts more easily. Or maybe you might try a hybrid that's more balanced. So you can work with these different type of strains that have their own unique endocannabinoids and terpenes. So that's another thing you can do. Make notes. I keep a log on everything. Every time I try something new, I make a note and then I can track it. This is intentional use of the medicine and can be really, really helpful. Now, if you just want to smoke and kind of sit back and explore and don't want to do this, that's up to you. I'm just telling you what I typically do and what I might recommend. So that's what I would suggest. When you smoke next time, take about 15 minutes. If you're with somebody else, just tell them, hey, listen, I just want to sit back and be quiet right now and sit with this. All right. And then start following, pull the thread, start following some of these tracers and see where they go and see what opens up. And just give yourself a little bit of time. If you want to take more time, less time, that's up to you. Play with it, see what happens, right? Nobody's going to get hurt. So, anyway, I wanted to give you that video because I think there's tremendous power, tremendous possibility in using cannabis to open up different perspectives, explore new ways of seeing things. And when we combine it with meditation, that power is tremendously increased. So, anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you had any experience with this, please make a comment. I want to learn from other people. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. That helps us out a lot. And also, there's a link in there if you want to reach out and talk to us about this. Thanks for watching.